Dear beloved, in the springtime of 2018, I travelled to a lonely and medieval chapel because I wanted to hear God speak. I knelt in the silence before God and felt the history of His presence in that place. I remained head bowed and gripped by the solitude and my own smallness until He said, "That's enough." It was just 60 short minutes and it felt like 5. And I took out my notebook and I wrote these words. They're a message of encouragement for this time, not just for me, but also for you. Each of us is a spot of ink in the pen of God as He writes us into His story for the salvation of humankind. Be a man for your time, a woman for your time, not somebody else's time. There's a place in history for every person, for every Christian, a place in history for you. A brief moment in time to do the thing you are specially called to do the thing you were created for. Every Christian has this calling that is special to the time in which they find themselves. The lives and needs of people in the 21st century are not the same as the lives and needs of people in earlier centuries. To meet these needs and these lives where they are, the church has to adapt to its time. Christ does not change, and the message of love and hope does not change, and the gospel does not change, and the word does not change. It is the church that changes with time. Times change. Therefore, don't be concerned about using contemporary methods. They are of this time. The prophets of one age are not the same as the prophets of another. Our mission is the gospel. We take the gospel of the kingdom of Christ to the people of the time in which we live. The people of the few short generations while we are alive. All humankind needs the love of Christ. All humankind desires peace. So let us allow the peace of Christ to rule in our hearts. Let us be filled with the love of Christ, and let His love compel us to go to others who are in need of that love. In this age of terrible darkness, the light of Christ shining through the people of God will guide the thirsty and hungry soul to the food and drink of eternity. God is eternal, and He is transcendent. He is spirit. He is love. He is peace. He is King of all kings and Lord of all lords. He is ruler of the kings of all the earth. His reign never ends. He is the Almighty, full of grace and truth, and full of overwhelming love for each of us. How can we, why would we refuse His enduring love? His heart is true. His message is true. He is truth. He envelops and inhabits His entire creation. There is no end to His peace. There is no end to His love. There is no end to His rule and reign. He is from everlasting to everlasting. My mind cannot comprehend Him, yet my heart can love Him. my soul can be nourished by him. His Spirit brings peace. He brings purity into this lake of evil. He brings hope to this sea of desolation. Yet he works through us to bring this light, to bring his peace, to bring his hope, to bring his love. We can let him shine through us, to be a guiding light to those in darkness. In this age, as with all others, this mission is opposed. Many have gone before, and some have died for this. Many have laid down their lives for others. This may be that time. Even so, by his Spirit, we have authority from him, even as we find ourselves to be aliens and strangers in this foreign land. Some generations have to fight and persevere, have to endure to bring the message of peace. Some are content to have lived in the glory of previous generations. For us now, this is the time of endurance, a time when we must endure, we must fight, and we must never give up. We must prevail. We have our own place in history, which only at the end of our time will we understand fully. Only when he reveals himself to the world again will we truly know the place we filled on the page of our time. So let us live wonderfully. Then when we look back to this cesspit of darkness we called our time, when the deep love and light of Christ was needed more than ever, we will see that it shone through because we weren't so afraid of the darkness as to dive in and stretch out the hand of hope. So let us live in glorious abandonment, not loving our lives so much as to shrink from death. Then, during this short stroke of his pen, and in this darkest of times, when his story needs to be sung with the crispest notes and told with the clearest voice, history will show that the letters he formed on the page with us were a little bolder, because the ink never stopped flowing, because we knew that it must. Lord, may you grant we be light and love to those who are loveless or hopeless and thirst for light in this darkness, those whose hearts secretly cry out to you. Amen.